And oh.
Hello again. My name is Phalafel, and this is part 2 of my Lynel cosplay tutorial where I show you how to make armor this time for this badass giant centaur beast. And let's get into it. First, we're gonna bullshit how to make a breastplate pattern. So you'll see here that I keep all of my patterns from past builds, but this is just a run through of how to make your own from scratch. I take the length of what you want your armor to ultimately be on your body, and then I measure from the middle of your waist, above your belly button, to the middle of your back. Draw a rectangle using those 2 measurements, and I'll put a picture in the corner of the screen here of this kind of corset foam pattern that I based this off of to fill the expanse of that pattern. Once you draw it all out, draft your pattern onto paper, and please make sure to test it and make adjustments accordingly before you transfer it onto foam. Now I'm transferring this pattern onto the EVA foam. This is a 1/2" EVA foam provided by Cosplay Supplies. And you'll see here that I actually used 45-degree angle cuts. This helps to make the seams a lot less noticeable when you're starting to piece curved pieces together. So I do this a lot. And please keep sharpening your blade. Sharpening your blade makes the foam cuts super clean, super happy. I'm going through each piece and I am adding contact cement, rubbing it in super thoroughly so that everything sticks together. Let that dry for about 15 minutes and then you piece it together like a happy little puzzle. And you can see I put notch marks on. Oh my gosh, she painted today. Oh, she gooped. Okay, so I have registration marks all throughout. So you just want to line up so everything is lined up accordingly. And then it should just wrap right around. Look at it.
Is this allowed?
Alrighty, now I'm making the boob cup pattern. Basically, the way that I originally drafted this is reused from back when I did Ganondorf. I took a styrofoam ball that was roughly the same size as my boob and wrapped it in saran wrap and duct tape, cut out the pattern from that, and then drafted it onto paper. Put all the registration marks in. And you're gonna cut 2 of each for a left and a right today. Magically onto foam. And yeah. Okay, it's cut out. Yeah. She a magician, y'all. Oh my god. And now you have 2 reasonably sized boob cups. Once you glue them right onto your armor base, you got yourself a chest plate. And I just kind of chopped up the bottom part to make it look more organic to the design I'm doing for Lynel. So here's my favorite part about armor crafting is freehanding all the designs and details that's going to go around the base that you made for your armor. So here's me freehanding the top of the boob cup, cutting out some spikes, spiky teeth, skeletal bits that are going to be chopped up and put all throughout the chest plate. Using a Dremel to just sand off some of the harsher edges and make it look a little bit more organic. Oh, look, it looks like little teeth spikes. I took some hot glue, glued the teeth spikes onto the breastplate. I'm also doing 2 45-degree angled cuts. I like using a metal ruler because it really gives you a controlled, clean line. Doing them on the outer sides of one piece, and this will give you trims. So this is how I make all of my foam trims with beveled edges. Now here's the important reason why you should always sharpen your blade. I didn't sharpen it that well, so it actually snagged and tore the foam a lot, so I got all these unclean edges. So I'm just going back and cleaning up. Alrighty, and now I'm marking off where I'm gonna put all the contact cement so that all the pieces lay right into place. And then you put it all together. It's very easy, very repetitive work. Oh my god. Cutting more bevel trim edges and then just gluing them right on the bottom so it kind of has more of a detailed, structured look. And then going through all the seams from all the pieces that we put together and drumming and sanding them away so it's a lot more smooth. So here's the thing about making mistakes. Sometimes foam, as much as I use it, isn't the best material to use for some things. So here I'm using Warbler to remake the little bubblekin skeletal head centerpiece for my armor. So there's the foam, there's the new Warbler one. It looks a lot cleaner. Then I'm going through with this kind of all-purpose caulk with a little bit of water and a tiny amount. I'm going through and filling in all the seams that I have left, and then sand over it just one more time with really, really fine sandpaper before I heat treat the entire piece. This seals in pores of the foam, and it makes sure that when you spray paint, it's not going to just kind of like absorb through. The rest of the armor is pretty straightforward in terms of pattern drafting, just basing it off of a lot of reference photos of Lynel. Enjoy this speed draft of me putting the crotch plate together. Crotches need to be protected in the wild of the breath. Yeah. So seamless ridges are pretty awesome. If you do two diagonal 45-degree angle cuts, not completely through the foam, so you're going only about halfway, you rip up that little bit of leftover, put some hot glue in that seam that you created, and fold it over until it cools. And then you flip it over, and you got yourself a super nice ridge, which is completely seamless. So I'm doing that with all of the crotch plate pieces, and it's just gonna have this really beautiful edge to it, which I adore. Oh my god, it's my favorite thing. And then you put the crotch plate together, and now your crotch is protected. You can see right there, it's electrical tape. I used that to draft a circle. It happened to be the same size as what I was looking for the little screw notches, the bolts. I guess they're bolts. Rivets, that's the word. I'm cutting at the edges so that they have more organic shape again, and then using an X-Acto knife to carve in battle damage. And now we're gonna do quickly the shoulder pattern. Super easy, just literally draw, this is another falafel bullshit pattern, you just draw a shoulder. And then you can draw to the curved edge, put a dart in it, make two, and then boom, you got yourself a perfectly working shoulder base. You can use these bases for these patterns to create any variations of any details of any style. It's a good starting point to get you drafting to what you want your final piece to look like. Adding a little bit spike details to the edge of the shoulder armor, because you know Lynel is a spiky boy. And then contact cementing everything together. You get the gist of it after seeing this so many times from the last tutorial and this one as well. Adding more battle damage. And then these are the little arm pieces for the arm armor. He has like arm spikes that are on a strap. Lots of pattern referencing because it's very hard to tell what's on his arm when you're trying not to die. So after all of this, everything's heat treated. I hit it with Plasti Dip. I use about 3 layers. And then I found this cool Rust-Oleum multi-purpose, really rocky texture spray paint. And now it just looks so cool and fun and solid as a rock. Okay. So I pinned these into cardboard so that they wouldn't move around and jump around while I spray painted it. That same rock-like texture. Oh, and then the same for the crotch plate and the shoulder armor. Attaching everything to the foam to your body, I use stiff felt. So this is super stiff craft felt. You can find this at any craft store. I sew zippers onto it and then glue the felt itself to the EVA foam. Just hot glue, and then that way you can use your zippers. My gosh. It's kind kind of sexy. Wait, hold up. Wait. And see, now you can zip up your chest armor. I did the same thing with sewing in giant snap buttons. I use these all the time for almost all of my armor attachments. These snap buttons are a lifesaver, and so you just sew on this one side onto the stiff felt, and then whatever side needs to be attached to something, maybe stiff felt, this case it's a strap, and boom, straps right on. Added one last strap for all the armor pieces. I just glued them right on, and it slides right onto my forearm. Not my forearm. Is that my, what's it called? Bicep. Cool. And then last but not least, all the detailing I use. Again, fabric markers. They're my favorite thing in the world for detail work. Yeah, your hands get really messy, but it's worth it. Just draw on battle damage pieces on the armor. I just draw on with fabric marker and smudge it with my fingers. And voila! You can now protect yourself in battle. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. As always, you can find me IG Falafel Cosplays, Twitter Falafel Cosplay because they won't let me have the S, and Facebook Falafel Cosplays as well. Big thanks to Cosplay Supplies for all the foam and warble used in this tutorial. And I will see you all in the next part. Bye!